Thanks for tuning in to the Palm Beach Podcast, a weekly show highlighting people making a positive impact in our community. With your hosts, sports chiropractor and athletic trainer, Dr. James Spencer, photographer and art director, Mike Jones. Our show is brought to you by Pump House Coffee Roasters, Hopportunities in Delray Beach, and the Lotus Travel Company for retreats and tours in Palm Beach County.
Hello, and welcome to the Palm Beach Podcast. My name is Mike Jones, hanging out at Media Zone in Palm Beach County, Florida with a couple cool dudes. Dr. James Spencer, how you doing today, buddy?
A beautiful day out there, seeing everybody over at Peanut Island.
Yeah, it's a nice little place to jump on the boat and hang out, enjoy a beverage.
And beautiful blue waters.
And I think we got a special guest in the studio today, don't we?
Yes, we do. Special guest, fellow water connoisseur, stud baseball player, Noah Syndergaard. Welcome to the show, bro.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm pretty pumped to be here. This is my first podcast ever, and I'm honored to be here.
Heck yeah. So what do you think of Media Zone?
I think it's awesome. It's a sweet little clubhouse.
I
I'm out
like
here and
it.
hang out more often.
We got the putt-putt over there, green screen.
Yeah,
We like to have fun here.
it's like a nice little man cave.
I love it. So tell the listeners a little bit about what you're doing here, obviously in Palm Beach County, and let's jump into it.
All right. I reported for spring training, had a really solid spring training for 2 months. I had a little bit of some elbow issues, and then COVID happened. And so once that happened, everything was shut down, I had some time to kill. So I figured I'm just going to get an MRI and get my elbow checked out. And I didn't think much of it because I felt like I didn't walk a hitter all spring training. I still had velocity. But we just had some time to kill. So I was like, I'm going to go get it checked out. And it was the most pleasant MRI I could ever be a part of. Like I remember like jamming out to some Adele, and I was like, this is going to be nothing. It's just some inflammation. And so sitting, waiting for the doctor. Doctor comes, Allcheck comes in, and I'm just waiting for him to give me the thumbs up, and he starts talking a little bit more. I'm like, oh, this probably isn't going to be good. And the diagnosis was pretty like a 90% tear in my UCL. So I had to, that was still trying to process all of that, even a year and a half later. But I ended up having surgery, and I mean, the state of the world was kind of in a whirlwind. It was chaos. So I wasn't really sure what my rehab would have been like back home, but I knew I was in really good hands here. So I just decided to extend the lease of the house I was staying at, and I've been here ever since. And now I guess I'm a Floridian now. Troop life.
Well, dude, the
Wow.
tan is killer, so you got to keep that going.
I mean, the sunshine, the water, the beach, it's really growing on me.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that and kind of some regiments off the field that you've been, partaking in as well.
Okay. So I'm huge into my routine. I think if I could have the perfect day, I'd wake up before the sunrise, get to the beach, watch the sunrise, get some natural light in, and get some good grounding in as well, making a connection to the earth, and get in the water, do some breath work, do some meditation. I've been really big into Wim Hof over the last year or two. I'd love to take one of his courses, but it's kind of all self-taught right now. And then at the house, I have a badass cold tub called the Morosco Forge that you can keep the water to 32 degrees, and it produces ice, and it has a ozone filtration system. So I do a cold plunge every morning after some breath work. I get the hot tub going. Sometimes I pop in the hot tub afterwards. I have the sauna, get in the infrared sauna. Huge into like photobiomodulation. So there's a doctor in the area, Dr. Kumar Ramesh, that has a Novathor, which is this badass tanning bed. Not really a tanning bed, but it feels amazing. 15 minutes, and it's complete rejuvenation. I remember there was one time I had a heavy throwing outing, and I went and did the Novathor session, and I was like, man, this is a drastic difference. And I'm not really into that woo-woo kind of stuff, but it was great.
And they threw the word Thor in there for you,
Yeah, seriously.
Wow.
Hey, and results speak, bro.
Right.
Yeah, if you feel a difference and you feel better, then so be it, right?
Amen.
Yeah.
What else did I got? Oh, I think one of the best thing I could have done when COVID happened, when I had my injury, and I think any young athlete that wants to strive to be the best should do, is find a personal chef. And I've Chef Ito. He's been incredible. He's extremely knowledgeable. He knows food. He makes food taste amazing, and he's really taught me a lot. And he has really got me to branch out outside of my comfort zone and my palate, and to the point where now I have there's this company I like to get my meat from called Force of Nature, and they have this ground beef blend that has 75% muscle ground beef and then 25% mixture of heart and liver. So you're getting like the most nutrient dense food there is, but it's like
super lean.
The Western culture is completely vilified, like eating organs, and I think we got to do the animal right by eating it nose to tail. Like there's so many like benefits to eating organs. It's the most nutrient dense food there is.
And that's what I always appreciated about having some deeper conversations with you, is not only learning a little bit about more of the carnivore style and even some of the beef jerky, the liver beef jerky that you bring in, and how nutrient dense food really is. And not only that, how good it tastes.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. But yeah, I mean, liver got mass amounts of vitamin A, B12, riboflavin, folates. I mean, the list goes on. You just look at the nutrition facts, and you're like, "Wow, I'm sold."
Well, and look at your quality of health over the last year and a half too, right? You've gotten leaner, you've gotten stronger.
I mean,
resilient.
I feel like I've adapted in all things, like physically, mentally, and I think nutrition is part of that as well. Not only just physically, but like your mental well-being as well.
And for some of those younger athletes out there, I think they need to take note on how valuable and how important nutrition and off the field training is, just as important as on the field training.
No, absolutely. Like recovery is my middle name right now, and I'm just addicted to it. This is a passion of mine.
It's like the biohacking complex over at your place, right?
Mm-hmm. It's like a little bit of a wellness lounge.
Yeah.
I think Dave Asprey or Ben Greenfield would be very proud of what I put together.
Especially here in Florida, because there's nothing like that.
Mm-hmm. And then I have also some BFR units, blood flow restriction. I'm big into that too. But if I could just start my day watching the sunrise, I think everybody could benefit from that.
Well, and that was something I learned from Dr. Jack Cruz, who obviously is a big kind of earthing, grounding, and red light therapy guy. And having that first sunrise session to help turn on mitochondria and really heal the tissue, it's only going to pay dividends not only mentally but physically, right? Mm-hmm. And that's something that you and I've shared is enjoying sunrise sessions, and it really does set the tone for the day. And not only that, it's connecting to Mother Nature as well.
Oh, absolutely. I think that society has such a disconnect right now to our environment. I think that's really playing in our poor health. But I mean, watching the sunrise is also getting that circadian rhythm set, and I think people are missing out on a lot of quality sleep, and I think that's
and it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah, it costs nothing except waking up a little earlier, you know.
Yeah, and look at where we live. It's truly paradise here. I'm very spoiled. I was living in Australia for a couple years. When I moved back, he was like, "Hey, you should come down here. It's really nice." And I thought I was pretty spoiled, but man, like you wake up every day and you go and you put your feet in the sand, you get that fresh air, sunlight on your skin, and it really is like just the best way to start the day. I agree.
It's really been crazy because I'm a Texan, born and raised. It's always going to be a part of me, but it's getting to the point where I think I'm got a little bit of juke life, Florida sunshine in me. It's like I used to be like, man, what do you do when you get to the beach? Like, you just sit there, or what do you do? But now it's like you just be present and enjoy it.
Well,
turn your phone off.
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say, and something that's what we enjoy doing is snorkeling, hunting for sea glass, and right now tons of shark's teeth out there as well. So it's fun to be present and to be in nature and enjoy the salt on the skin.
I'm fully convinced on the earthing thing now, because I mean, everybody walks around with rubber-soled shoes. You don't have that connection to the earth, and the earth does have a electromagnetic field. There's no arguing with that, and you know, you can definitely tell the difference, because I remember I used to be terrified of getting into the ocean. Still kind of am, a little timid.
Especially here.
Why should I be concerned here? What's out there?
Ask Mike about a shark encounter.
Yeah, nothing happened out there. I won't even tell you. We'll just skip that story.
You still have your limbs and your fingers, so
Currently.
Just ask
But-
Kevin Shack about that one.
I know that so my agent lives in Hermosa, and he's a big time surfer, and I got in the water one time in Hermosa, and I'm like, holy crap, like this is energizing. Like I could tell a difference. It was invigorating.
There's definitely a lot of minerals in the sand and then the water as well. So just to echo off of your, nutrient dense meat, I really do feel like, swimming in the ocean and walking barefoot in the sand, there's no doubt that it's good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your water consumption.
Okay.
Your
What do you
your go-tos.
My go-to, oh man, any form of spring water, of course, but Mountain Valley, it's got a special place in my heart.
Definitely. Yeah,
Especially when in the middle of the season, I gotta find a place I can't just drink like the water in plastic containers. And it's like I'm pretty anal about the water that I put in my body, and like everyone's like the craze with the alkaline, and I think that's great, but you're not getting the minerals that go along with it. So that's why I choose spring water.
Yeah, same here. I enjoy it as well, and Mountain Valley is my go-to as well, and just exploring and trying different flavors. I think you'll learn that instead of having a Gatorade, this has a lot of minerals and electrolytes as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
no sugar or any of the added crap to it.
Correct. And when it comes in glass, it's good.
Yeah, and then one of another player that's going through a rehab with me right now. I saw at his locker like he had a huge shipment of Pedialyte. I'm like, oh my gosh, like. Just look at the list of ingredients. Like you can't even pronounce them, and it's like red with numbers and
Corn syrup.
Yeah, like it's not what you want for hydration.
You're like, hey, bro, come here. Let me teach you something.
Exactly.
That was good for hangovers when you were 19.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
And that's really it's what I've stuck to as well is trying to lead by example, and I think that's something that you do very well, and sticking to your guns and exploring and learning and sharing your knowledge. I think that's one thing that's invaluable for a lot of the youth is you're leading by example, and you're teaching them, hey, if you want to be the best, this is how you got to do it.
Yeah, I think what COVID and this rehab has really taught me, but specifically more COVID, because you don't have access to be around other people. And it's like, once I got to spring training and I'm around the guys, I'm like, I get what, like, the connection is what we're all striving for. And I think that's what COVID really taught me, because you're in such isolation. I was with the same group of guys for a year, like three of my best friends living in the same house together. But like once I was able to go out and about and see the team again, or just live normal life, I was like, man, this is what we've all been missing. I think that's why there's been so much anxiety and depression and anger over the last years, because we haven't been able to connect as like a society.
And human to human connection. I think that's invaluable,
Yeah. Social distancing is like a messed up combination of words, because it's really physical distancing.
Or
There's
stay
nothing
inside.
social about it.
Yeah.
But hey, give a shout out to that water from Texas. What was that you were telling us out
Oh,
there?
Topo Chico?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Topo Chico. That's Topo Chico lime. And you can make, like, in Texas, there's a drink called ranch water, which is Topo Chico,
Interesting.
lime, and a little bit of tequila. And it is so refreshing.
Especially on a hot freaking Texas
Wow.
day.
Yes, exactly what I was thinking.
I know how it is. I lived in Houston for a while, and it's freaking blazing saddles out there.
It is.
Houston's miserable. I've lived in Texas my whole life. I think I've been in Houston once.
Smart man.
Yeah, it's the humidity, the traffic, the heat.
It literally is a
Not
concrete jungle.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah. Yeah, so let's also touch base a little bit about the book club and
Okay.
how fun that's been. And
So book club, that kind of started. So I've always had like this love for learning, and I think that stemmed from my grandparents, which trickled down to my parents. My parents have always taught me like the meaning of hard work and dedication, and always trying your best. And I feel like I've always had like this growth mindset to want to learn as much as possible. It doesn't matter what it necessarily is. And the book club kind of stemmed. I've always had like this love for reading, and it's really kind of taken off over the last year or two. and it's just within like with COVID, like the first month, 2 months of that happening, it's like, okay, like it's kind of nice to just sit on the couch for a little bit, be lazy, and watch a bunch of Netflix endlessly. But I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting so stagnant right now. I got to do something. So I started reading a lot more. And at that time I had my hyperbaric, so I could just crush books in there. And I just kind of wanted to share what I've been reading with the fans, and just promote literacy as much as I can, because I think our youth might be kind of screwed with all this TikTok nonsense and not paying attention to what's really needed in terms of like reading and just gaining as much knowledge as you possibly can.
Well, and that excited me every week when we would come in and we'd share, hey, this is the new book I'm on, and I learned a lot of things just from a conversation with you. Is shit, I never even heard of that book. So it was cool to now jump on the bandwagon and see what you're staying up to par on, and sharing ideas and the knowledge with other kids or even fans,
Yeah, I
appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. I wouldn't really say like I'm big into like self-help kind of books, just like thought-provoking books. I'm in the middle of Daring Greatly by Brene Brown right now. Oh, hopefully I'll be able to get her on to a Q&A, but it's she seems like she's a very busy lady, but hopefully she can
take a few minutes.
Take a few minutes. I'd greatly appreciate that. But yeah, I'm really excited for it right now, and I mean I don't foresee it going anywhere, so I just want to help spread knowledge and promote literacy.
I like it, and that's my go-to every morning. If I'm not seeing the sunrise, I try and read a chapter out of 5 different books.
Wow.
3 relevant to what I do for work, and then 2 that I have no clue about anything.
That's interesting. I'm not ready for 5 books at one time yet, but we're getting there.
It's a lot of note taking.
Oh yeah. I don't really have a note taking process yet. But I do a lot of reading in my sauna. Like my books are starting to like fall apart. The spines are beat to crap, and I do a lot of reading in my hyperbaric as well. So it's kind of a little difficult to take notes. But what I've been doing recently with my book club is I will read the book twice, actually, which is a lot. It's a doozy, but I just want to know the material as well as I can. I want to be able to like have a conversation with the author about it. And
Well, now you really own the material.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big difference.
I own the material, and I try to apply it to my life so I can really learn it and make the most out of what I'm reading.
It's beautiful, bro.
Well, they say like if you watch a movie a second time, you catch like different things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like if someone was interested in the book club, how would they go about learning about it, signing up?
I would say you could go to my social media, like Twitter or Instagram. You can also text me. I'm not sure what that phone number is right now off the top of my head, but there is an ability to text me and connect, and I think that's awesome to be able to connect with fans and get their feedback as well, because I'm going to start implementing more of like their questions into the Q&As with the author.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, interaction. I like it.
Dude, you should come down here and do a little little live stream, a little
I'm
ask me
thinking
anything
so.
type
This is
something.
legit. This is the big leagues right here.
Yeah, we could put the questions right on the screen right there for you, and you could
All right,
interact with people. It'd be pretty fun.
The reason I started that is because like baseball is not eternal. Like knowledge, what you learn through life, that is. So I just want to continue to learn exponentially as much as I can. Baseball, it's not gonna be available to me for the rest of like forever. But my end goal is just to play the game as long as I can. I mean, we get to play a kid's game for a living and get paid for it. It's living the dream. It's a true blessing. Thank God, thank my parents, thank my family and friends for where I'm at right now. But in terms of what I want to do, like maybe post-retirement, I think all of us have a purpose in life, and I think mine might just be making connections, trying to educate young minds as much as possible. Maybe there's a career in being a pitching coach afterwards. I mean, I'm a huge passion into nutrition and like longevity and wellness. So like maybe I could start a line of recovery lounges or wellness lounges along those lines. But there's a lot of possibilities. I haven't really thought too much into it, but like the general spectrum is that I just want to continue to help people.
And that's what we talked about, talking small farms and things like that,
I completely forgot. Where's my head? Like being a farmer. I mean, I come from a generation of farmers from in Iowa, so it's definitely in my blood, and I'm super passionate about regenerative agriculture. I think it could save the planet. Elon Musk has $100 million competition for people that can come up with the technology to sequester carbon from the environment, and we have it already. It's called regenerative farming, letting the ruminants do what they've been doing for millions and millions of years.
And farm the soil.
Exactly. That's what you do. You farm the soil.
It's cool. And that's, that's something that I've just, since chiropractic school, I've taken a little passion on, is growing my own fruits and veggies. And although it's not completely sustainable for my family, picking a strawberry off the vine or whatever it might be is just enjoyable, and, literally enjoying the fruits of the labor. It's
a damn shame that these cows are becoming the enemy because of what we've done for them. Like, I just listened to this. I think it was a Dave Asprey podcast. He had one of his guests. I think it was like a pediatric endocrinologist. Can't remember his name, but he came out with this new book called Metabolical. It sounded really interesting. He was saying that there were more cows in the 1960s than there are now. But now the cows we produce now create 4 times the amount of methane, because the antibiotics that we give them kill or allow the methanogens in their digestive system to continue to grow. And so, yeah, of course.
And I'd like to give a shout out to my business coach. He had like a 4,800 acre farm in Nebraska, and he farmed the soil.
That's awesome.
And he had no pesticides, no insecticides, no herbicides sprayed. And he's the one who really started opening my eyes to this stuff, which is, it's not only the future, but it was also the past.
Have you ever seen the documentary called The Biggest Little Farm?
I haven't.
Oh, it's awesome. You got to check that out. Another really good one is Fantastic Fungi too.
I like that one.
That one's awesome. Yeah. Really cool. I mean, that's it right there. You get a farm to soil to have these mycorrhizal ecosystems in the earth if you watch Fantastic Fungi, like, they have these networks in the soil that can send trees, like different nutrients to trees. Like,
they all help each other.
Unbelievable stuff.
It's a really cool documentary, right?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I might have to go home and watch it again. It was so inspiring.
Well, I saw there was like a part where one of the trees would like grow in a different direction to help sunlight come through for like new baby. Like, and they just like it's all a web.
That's really cool.
Symbiotic.
Yeah, definitely. Well, they need the other trees for protection from the wind, and so everybody's got a place. But I do love the aspect of, we live in an instant gratification world right now, right? Like, everyone wants everything right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like at a deeper like meta level, like plant a seed, put some water on it, let it get some sunlight. I think we need to apply that more to life in general, And so it's a shame, like you said, like the TikTok world, everything that we're in right now is just like, I want it now.
TikTok, OnlyFans, holy crap. That is repulsive stuff. It's like, people are like, oh, I make money. I'm like, that's not the happiness. Like, I know a lot of people, a lot of money. That it's not happiness. So
no, and going back to your point, it's the human to human connection. It's community. And I think that's what's going to be so exciting for the future, is if you develop these communities where everybody has a collective consciousness or a collective idea to work together. I think we're going to produce some really cool results. We are going to have carbon footprints that we can help Elon Musk with.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's sharing ideas, it's sharing crops, it's sharing food, and sharing conversation.
Of course.
And not running podcasts teaching you how to cheat on your significant other.
Amen to that too.
Well, hey, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show, bro. And
thank you guys for having me. This was great.
Yeah.
Anytime.
And give a shout out to a couple people over there.
Mom and Dad, just want to thank you for everything you've done for me, the many sacrifices that you've given to make sure that I'm in the position I'm in right now, and I won't let you guys down.
Beautiful. And bring some of that Texas water next time you come back, will you?
Okay, I'll stop by Whole Foods on the way.
I got tequila in the freezer, so we'll be all right.
I know in Texas they sell those bastards by the 32 pack, and here they only have 12 packs. So we're getting there though.
Topo Chico, send some to Florida.
Topo Chico.
Hey, thanks for
Cheers, boys. Thanks for coming to Media Zone.
Of course.
Thanks for drinking
Anytime.
some Bishop's Water
is the
provided
best.
Mountain Valley as well.
Yeah,
So,
thank you, Kim.
New sponsor to the show. And,
Thank you, Kim.
We'll see you all soon.
Ubuntu.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Palm Beach Podcast. Our show is brought to you by Pump House Coffee Roasters, Hopportunities in Delray Beach, and the Lotus Travel Company for retreats and tours in Palm Beach County.